we focus on helping you claim what's rightfully yours, your health and your freedom. We explore the three main areas of health: the physical realm, the biochemical realm, and the mental and emotional realm. We also explore all the areas of lifestyle we can find that will help you live more abundantly, regardless of where you're starting. And remember, in life, you'll either make excuses or create results. You choose. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Hant, and I'm glad to be with you here today. Make sure to head on down to the show notes and click on the link to join our tribe of human-powered life heroes, where we'll update you on new shows, events, product launches, and so much more. Now, it's time to enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Human Powered Life Podcast. We have an amazing guest today. We're going to talk about things that you can't see. This is Justin Frandson. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks, Dr. Josh. Appreciate you having me on.
I'm excited to have you. You know, we've lived in this crazy world with technology. I'm surrounded by it right now. You have it in front of you. We're going to talk about EMF. But what I would love for you to start with, because you didn't start out necessarily in the EMF game in your life journey here. We spoke about, like, you know, athleticism or athletic performance is where you started. So can you bring us from that place all the way into where EMF started to show up in your life?
Definitely. Well, I'm an athleticism performance coach. Athleticism.com is one of my websites, working with amateur and professionals for over a couple of decades at the highest level, doing nerve work for sports performance, whole body, whole brain connections. So really working at a deeper level. I was blessed early on to tap into the nervous system on this stuff, but then also have a heightened awareness from some of the history for me, where I was the last guy to get a cell phone. In college, I interned in a real estate firm and was making copies and developed sensitivities on my fingertips from pulling paper off an x-ray machine. So I understood that the feeling of what this radiation felt like in my own body. And then in my practice, I ended up seeing athletes breaking down, wearing smartwatches, their whole arm would go weak. These like crazy endurance athletes like yourself, the strongest, fittest guys, their whole arm would just go completely weak. So I started diving in about a decade ago to EMF and looking at EMF and solving that as a challenge.
All right. So in this journey, like early on, you're seeing weakness, you're seeing, you know, performance deficits in that. I know that was your focus. So we go from the, you know, how do we fix an athlete or help an athlete to get better from this thing that's called EMF, which I want you to talk a little bit of, just like maybe the definition or the basic definition of what it is for those that may have, you know, it's maybe a first experience for many people. I don't think so, but it's a possibility. Like, you know, how we go from sports performance to health.
Well, the easiest thing to make someone better is to clear the stressors out of their world. So when you start clearing what's making them slow down, you can actually improve their performance. So that's where I went to that. And EMF is electromagnetic field or frequency that can be cosmic or man-made. The ones we're having challenges with are the man-made ones, because we're one with the cosmic ones. When we're sleeping, our brainwave states 1 or below 1 to 8 hertz or waves per second. The Schumann resonance of the earth, the healing pulse of the earth. When we go barefoot, pull those those electrons from that negative ionic charge. That's a 7.83 hertz or waves per second. That's the Schumann resonance. That's that healing pulse. Cool. So we're so one with that earth, and the man-mades are 10 zeros faster. They're one directional waveforms, and they're polar opposite charge than what we're used to.
Okay. So let's do this as like step one. So where do people find EMF? Like, okay, like I'm looking at my life right now. I'm maybe a person that's listening. I'm in my car. I may have an electric car. I may be in an office. I may be, you know, all these different things. Like, where could people start to become aware that, okay, like, you know, I have it here. I have it here. I have a watch on, a smart watch on, or something like that. Give us some details.
Yeah, Dr. Josh, the first thing is proximity awareness. So you have to figure out what you're being close to, for sure. So EMF comes in the form of electricity or magnetic. You have dirty electricity, and then you have wireless. So just the electricity where you plug something in would be
Oh,
one.
okay.
The refrigerator, you never want to sleep and have the head of your bed behind the refrigerator, because that would have that magnetic resonance. Then we go into, the dirty electricity can come from anything from solar panels on your home, sitting on a battery in an electric car, dim switches in your home, rats eating the lines going in and out of a junction. So, because remember, they're one directional waveforms, so they have to meet, or you're going to have lots of static in your line. So that would be where dirty would come from. And then you need improper wiring as well. Some stuff that's not grounded or wired correctly or connected properly. Then you go into the wireless. So Nest AC units, any smart devices in your home, routers, cell phones, smart meters, the automated gas and electric meters. Josh Del Sol did a documentary movie called Take Back Your Power. Check it out. It goes all into the smart meters, and he foresaw all the stuff going on about 7 years ago or so.
Yeah, and that's something that's become huge in our area where I live in the suburbs. They're these smart meter vans. They just come and switch them out. They don't even tell you they're doing them. They just show up. They may knock on your door. If you're not there, you have a new smart meter in your house when you get home. So I want to get into that after the fact. So we have all of this stuff. I mean, I'm thinking holy cow, how many outlets do I have in this room that I'm in right now that are surrounding me? How do I know? How would someone know if something, like you said, that dirty power, dirty EMF, how do I know if that plug over there is good or bad?
Well, yeah. So there's meters to quantify these invisible stressors. That's the cool thing. They're measured in waves per second. So I like to break it down for everyone, because when you go into microwatts per meter squared or all these different levels, how do you convert that into a wave per second? So excuse me, wavelengths or millimeter waves, they're measured in a wave per second, or at least I'm going to break it down for you in that form. Electricity is 50 to 60 waves per second. That's measured with a milligauss meter. And then you get a Stetzer electric, S-T-T-Z-E-R, electric.com. And there's one you plug in the wall, and that'll measure dirty electricity. It's about 100,000 or 200,000 waves per second. That will meter any chaos in that wavelength spectrum. And then wireless, you go in the million to billion, couple billion waves per second. So earbuds, smartwatches, cell phones, routers, they're all about 2.45 billion waves per second, one directional charge. Remember, we're sleeping at 8 waves per second or below. So it's really challenging for our body in a lot of ways. So those are the different forms or stressors in our life. And obviously, I mean, when I was little, my mom's like, hey, don't sit next to the TV. And so I developed a proximity awareness to it. Well, now we're just inundating it. It's more self-induced EMF poisoning for ourselves, because we have phones and laptops. A lot of people put them on their lap, which they shouldn't. I mean, these companies are naming them just the wrong way. And it's all for marketing, but not for your health. So we got to develop some awarenesses. And if people love their smartwatches, well, track where you're at. 4 months later, go back and see where you've improved to. Put it on airplane mode the rest of the time if you have to keep that watch. If you're a Tesla owner, you're sitting on a battery, that's dirty electricity. It's not a great recipe for health. What colleagues of mine have measured it at is 20% lower testosterone for anyone driving, actually 18% lower testosterone for anyone driving an electric car across the board. And these are healthy military guys that were tested. And it was the biggest marker chain on his entire blood panel work.
Holy cow. And that's that's like hybrids, that's everything.
Hybrids, everything, because you're sitting on a battery. And all the new cars, the front dashboard's way high milligauss from 8 on up. But those Teslas, they also are self-driving. So you have all the millimeter waves. You're cooking people inside of those. So you probably,
That's crazy.
yeah, people want to load up on the grounding bags for those, because those are tricky. And then you add someone who took the shot, you know, that a lot of people are getting these days, and that's 20% lower testosterone. So you take a perfectly healthy person, give them a shot in an electric car, and you take them into a danger zone.
That's crazy. So with EMF, I mean, that's tremendous. I mean, that's, yeah, you're measuring like testosterone. That's just one of the probably many markers that you're seeing. And if that's dropping, I mean, that's an essential thing, you know, for men and, you know, and women, obviously in different levels. So let's bring everything into full perspective. So we're surrounded by this stuff, clean, dirty energy. We have technology surrounding us, on us, when we're inside technology, if you will, like in a vehicle. So there's obviously solutions, and that's obviously why you're here for this conversation. You know, we know the problem, we figured it out. Like, and I'm gonna have a question also about, you know, they put a smart meter in our house not too long ago, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Like, I want to get rid of the damn thing, and it's in such a bad part of our house that I can't reorganize my house, if you will. So I want a way to maybe get some help, you know, for that smart meter. So let's go. We have all the tech surrounding us. What do we do? Like, what is the solution that you have figured out, that you found out, that you now, this is who you are and what you do?
Well, you know what? There's a big thing called physics, and everything travels in wave form. And our environment is all air, which is plasma. All the waveforms travel through it, whether it's cosmic or man-made. So there's a book called The Invisible Rainbow by Arthur Firstenberg. Have you heard about it?
I haven't heard of that one, no.
Okay, it's a must read for everyone. It categorizes the history of electricity and life, and it correlates all the pandemics in the history and directly relates them to increased shifts in our electromagnetic blanket of an atmosphere, whether it's cosmic before 1918 or from 1918 on man-made. 1918, we introduced radio waves. Satellites in the Van Allen belt for Hong Kong flu. World War II, we introduced radar, and most recently 5G. This is our body adapting to an environmental stressor. Dr. Tom Cowan, he actually recently moved to New York. He had a big voice in the space. He's a medical doctor. He had a video that went viral that basically said, hey, if you're studying these dolphins and they live in this water and they're the healthiest family, all of a sudden they start getting sick. Who's gonna say, did that dolphin give that dolphin a virus? You know, a couple people raise their hand. And this is at a medical conference 2 years ago in the thick, you know, right at the start of all this stuff. And then he said, who thinks it's genetic? Who would go back and check their genes? All of a sudden, they're just going to get sick at a certain time. Person raised a hand. And then he said, who put shit in the water? Like Exxon Valdez. And like, everyone's like, oh yeah. And everyone raised their hand. So this is him explaining that when you pollute our environment, we're going to produce these dead proteins, these viruses, and adapt. And that's the symptoms we're seeing. So that's a lot of what we're going through on a broad scale, is this adaptation to waveform technology. So understanding the physics behind it, number one, and how we're communicating. I'm in Southern California in Newport Beach, and you're in New York. Like, we're seeing each other, we're having this great conversation. It's all from waveform technology. So let's understand how the physics of our whole environment is. And then from there, we can develop the proximity awarenesses that we've talked to, and then we can develop the solutions, which is really simple. Nature created it for us. You just get grounded by nature. How do you do that? You go out and you get barefoot and you touch a tree. You go out in the sunlight, because Eileen McCusick talked about us being a bio battery. So we pull the positive charge from the sunlight above, unpolarized waveforms that distribute equally in every direction. We get the negative ionic charge and pull electrons from below. That recharges our battery. So get out in the sun, go lay down at a park and have a picnic. get that frequency, that resonance from the earth and from above back into your system to recharge your body. Go plant some plants, get your hands dirty, get them in the soil. Like, these are simple ways.
Hey, we're giving you a short break here where you can head down to the show notes or lifestylelocker.com and join our tribe of human-powered life heroes. You'll be the first to know about new shows, events, product launches, affiliate specials, and more. And now, back to the show.
And what we've done is we've actually found an incredible mine, and we hand mine crystals that have moisture and magnetic properties. So this, our EMFRocks.com grounding bag is like walking barefoot in a bag. You put it on or under your bed, desk, car seat, 5 together in a home will clear 2,000 square feet. Like, that is how you can ground out and recharge your body if you can't get outside, or when you're sleeping and you're not outside.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I'm glad you brought up grounding. You know, I interviewed a gentleman named Dr. Steven Sinatra. He's a cardiologist in the Northeast, a retired cardiologist, but he's an integrative. So he's, you know, I had a conversation with him a couple of years ago, and he talked about detoxing EMF, which was like the first time I heard anybody ever tell me. He goes, get barefoot and go outside, wear leather soled shoes, like connect to the ground. I'm like, holy cow. So like that became like the thing to do in the morning all season long here, unless there's ice on the ground. I don't want to fall on my rear end, like out of my front door, barefoot. I'm outside barefoot on concrete, then in grass. So it's a huge thing. It's quite amazing. And I'm glad you, like, you know, I'm hearing it from an expert in the field too. So it's not just some cardiologist. It's like, I think this is a good idea. You should do this. I mean, you're living it and reading and going through the science of all of this, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and get in any body of water, ocean, lake. I mean, you're going to pull this charge from this water. So nature's created us. And that's why I went off on that tangent on waveform and how we're so one with the universe. When people really take a step back, unlearn what they've been taught, and really understand how we're designed, we have this incredible innate healing capacity, just like the earth does. And we're essentially one with her. And we're not above her, we're not below her, we're one with her. And when we disconnect from that, that's when Dr. Mercola wrote a book titled EMF'd. You know, that's when we're EMF'd. So we want to really get back to the root of how we heal. And Clint Ober wrote a book called Earthing, which is another great book to understand how you can start to heal. Because what I've realized, Dr. Josh, is it's really challenging to heal when you're not grounded. And there's 4 areas that get decharged: your eyes, your teeth, your thymus, which is your electrical system for your whole body, and then your small intestine. So when those areas get decharged from EMF, it's a futile effort to heal from anything.
That's interesting. You know, it's you know, yeah, you just had me thinking about all this stuff, and you're showing the bag of rocks. For those of you going to watch the whole video, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're on audio only, you'll have to just catch the video at the, you know, when you hit our website up. You know, I'm thinking I practice in New York City. You know, I think grounding, right? For me, it's easy. I walk out my front door, literally. Feet are on the ground, like literally 2 steps to grass. People that live in New York City or big cities or big urban areas may not be that easy, or you may not want to be walking around like on a street barefoot. I wouldn't want to do that in New York City for sure. Maybe in Central Park in the grass, but not everybody has access to that. So like, I think having that availability of those grounding rocks, having that, you know, you said you could, I mean, I don't know if you put them in your pocket. I don't know how it works yet. I want you to go a little more detail about this, but you know, you said put them under your bed, put them under your car seat, and it has this grounding effect for, I guess, the people that are around it. I would love for you just to go in a little more detail, because I think that's really an important, a pretty neat thing.
Yeah, thanks. You know, these crystals have moisture and magnetic properties in them, and that's the difference. So shungite, amethyst, black tourmaline, there's some great magnetic Tesla rocks, if you will, that have frequencies that can really help with EMF. Ours have that at the highest level. And then they also have this moisture content. So you combine both of them together and they become exponentially more beneficial for EMF toxicity and challenges. And that's really the cool factor. We hand mine them, how we deploy them, and the actual purity of the stones is what makes these so powerful. And the reason that they're being sold at doctor clinics literally all around the country and helping people sleep and repel EMF. Now, on the grounding part and the recharging, I didn't ask, do you do any muscle testing? Are you applied kinesiology?
No, we don't do any of that in the practice.
So a lot of the docs that do are, muscle testers. This is a really great product to easily test through muscle testing. So what we've done is create a protocol where you can recharge your body with the grounding bag. So you can actually put the grounding bag on your lap, and I'll put it up high so we can tap on it, then you can see it. So we put it on our lap, essentially tap on the bag. It acts like a homeopathic tincture. And when you tap on it, the tinctures, it activates the properties in it. So that's the same thing as this. It activates the moisture in it, activates the properties of the bag. Then let's direct them to our eyes. So we tap on it and recharge your eyes if your eyes are feeling a little tired or off. Then the teeth will see small cracks and fractures. And so you cover your mouth, recharge your teeth. Thymus is probably the biggest. This might reset everybody on all of them because it's your electrical system through your body. Tap on the bag and cover that area with the intent of breathing and taking the properties of the rock to direct them there. This is waveform resonance, frequency healing, applied kinesiology that's been known about forever. You can do the same thing with your stomach. What I wanted to share is Dr. Bear Lando, a fellow chiropractor of yours. He's out of Smith River, California, Oregon border. Alpha Vedic, ALFAVEDIC.com is his website. He did a third-party independent waveform test on our grounding bags. He has dual impedance antennas. They measure your chi, your life force, your energy field, any distortion in it. He can tell exactly what's wrong with you, and he feels it supersedes blood. Because as Bruce Lipton would say, your health lies in your chi, chemistry would be secondary. So his waveform test, the grounding bags clinically passively treated up to 91% of the markers that were off on his patients. The lowest one was 67% correction. And that girl was the youngest, but her thymus was decharged. So just unbelievable. If we would have done the tapping protocol with the bag and recharged it, I have a feeling she would have tested way higher than everyone because she was the youngest in the group. But that's the power of connecting with this resonance and the frequency healing of the earth.
So, so these bags, this just totally went off a direction I didn't think we were going, which is very cool. So I'm just thinking like practices and people's homes. So if I live in an apartment in an urban area, I have, it's 700-800 square feet, whatever it is. Am I keeping this? Am I like keeping it on my bed and like taking it out every single day to do this? Is it going to help me if I'm in my apartment? I throw my earbuds in, I have my Apple Watch on my arm or whatever it is. Is it going to help mitigate some of the effects like while I'm wearing them? Or do I really need to just like airplane mode them? And like people are not, I listen, everybody's got white headphones in New York City walking around everywhere. I have to, plead the fifth. I'm one of those people from time to time. So help me. Tell me what are we going to do here?
Well, it's simple. You can coexist with man-made EMF. So that's the one thing that I want to really convey is no fear when you see a cell tower. We're not, obviously these things are weapons. They can be really challenging. When you give your fear away to them, they're going to hit you even harder. And Dr. Josh, you're at the healthiest, stage of life, like in that range. I mean, anyone from 24 to about 50 is going to be in that stronger, more resilient phase. when you're below that, like a fetus, they don't have a blood-brain barrier. They don't have a skull fully developed. Like they have zero protection of this stuff. Same with the elderly. They're just, so everyone's getting hit differently. Everyone has different levels of methylation, different buckets of fullness of toxicity, different of EMF or excuse me, heavy metal toxicity. So this EMF stuff can charge some of those heavy metals. So everyone's going to be hit differently. But the main thing to understand is that we can convert a waveform from something that's one directional, that's polarizing, to something that distributes equally in every direction that our body accepts and it is actually beneficial for your body. And that's through physics. We can do that. And that's what the grounding bags do. Biogeometry does. Like this stuff's been around forever. That's what the nature, does for us. So what we've done is we've deployed a product that you can put it in your pocket, the mini one. You put this in your pocket, the women put it in your purse, backpack for the kids. And while you have wearable technology on you, you're converting that waveform so it's not affecting you in that harmful way. And then you have this on your bed, so when you're sleeping, it's converting that waveform so it's not like someone's tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, Dr. Josh, wake up, talk to me, talk to me. The stuff's always looking for a signal all night long. So your smart meter, 7 to 15 seconds, it's a sporadic pulse, pulsing to say, talk to me all night long. So what we're doing is we're converting that waveform so it's just not disruptive and it doesn't feel like it's like polarizing for our body. So we can convert this stuff. That's the beauty of our products. And the other cool thing, it's not a man-made device attempting to keep up with man-made signals. We look to nature to do what she does best. And that's where, for me, it gets really exciting. And Tom Cowan will say the same thing. So many of the other docs that we work with will say the same thing. Because those other frequencies, you don't know when they get overrun. And if a product has copper in it or stickers on the back of your phone, you don't know when it doesn't work anymore. With these, they'll last a couple years to a decade or more. And when these solid rocks turn to dust, that's when you sprinkle them in your garden. You have the most mineral dense garden and you want to replace your bag. And so we know there's an expiration on this, which is really cool, I feel.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting concept. So, I'm thinking myself as, I have a bunch of ultra distance events this year coming up. I was looking at the small bag that you were holding, like the more we'll call like the personal one. My question to you is, so I run with a race vest. So if I throw this in my pack or my vest, can it get wet? I mean, I run in rain, I run in snow. Weather is, or should I put it like in a Ziploc bag to give it a little protection from Mother Nature's potential crazy elements that I'll be in?
Yeah. So what I would probably do is I wouldn't use it. I would use it on your bike, and then on your run. And you don't.
I'm only running. Only running.
Okay. Yeah. I just you could probably just use it as is on that. I mean, you'll get a little sweaty and stuff, but you might need to replace it sooner than someone else. But I would rather have it on you right away, and versus having a plastic covering over it. And one of the things, like for the endurance guys and the triathlete guys, it blows my mind. They have their cell phone in their sacrum. Like you just see them put it right in their lower back area, and that's their power center. Like literally on the opposite side of that is the power center of your body. So they're literally taking their power away from them when they put that device there.
That's crazy. So I guess that's where this product will coexist with, where people are putting their wearable tech, or not even wearable. That's just like probably the biggest, radiation bomb is the cell phone. So I would run with this. Like, it's not on my skin. It's going to be in a little pack. So that's good. I can wear that. And if I know it's going to be foul weather, I'm just thinking for the people like myself that are probably going to ask me these questions or ask you these questions. If I know I'm going to be running, like my last 100-mile race run, first 60 plus miles were rain. Like when the radar shows red, like that's what we were running through for 60 miles.
Yeah,
so
if it's in your pack, you're fine. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you like, what kind of neat things have you seen? Because I know recovery for me is probably my superpower. You know, when I really do everything that I do, how will this impact recovery?
It'll be significant for you. So what it does is, and Clint Ober talks a lot about it in the book, but pain goes away. You start to get more circulation to these areas. So I treat a lot of concussions, even though I'm not a licensed practitioner. I don't diagnose, but I do treat. So head injuries, contusions, concussions, just these aches, you can just put the grounding bag, literally ace bandage it around a quad that has a contusion or something, and you'll see it heal so much faster.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
The closer you can have it to the injured area, it'll start to do what it's designed to do and help facilitate with the circulation. Everything's a circulation challenge, every injury. So when we can get that circulation start to flowing and recharge that area, then the body innately will start to heal faster than ever.
Okay. So let's go. A couple things. One, where are the best places for people to start finding out more information? Because I know some people are thinking this is airy-fairy stuff. Some people are totally in alignment with it. And that's great, because I think, curiosity is going to bring people in from all directions. And that's where I started. I've been brought up in the chiropractic world. But when I started using meditation and all these things, I'm like, nah, but my mind was open. I experienced some pretty amazing changes. So I don't discount anything at all. And I think it's worth everybody having an open mind to check all of this out. And if you're in alignment, just dive right in. Because I'm sure Justin's gonna be like, all right, go here. This is what we got. So just share where are people going to find all this stuff?
Well, our products are emfrocks.com, emfrocks.com. And you can grab the full-size grounding bags and minis, some Faraday bags, protect you from your phone from data harvesting, tracing, all that stuff. So yeah, we have those. That's the website. I mean, again, more information. There's so many different resources. Look at The Invisible Rainbow by Arthur Furstenberg. Look at Dr. Tom Cowan, COWN.com. Like, listen to his podcast. Listen to Dr. Bear Lando Alpha Cast. I mean, there's so many people talking about all this stuff. Get the book Earthing. Get the book Electric Body, Electric Universe by Eileen McCusick. Like, start to understand, all this waveform stuff. If you guys buy a few books this year, I would get Invisible Rainbow, Arthur Furstenberg, Electric Body, Electric Universe by Eileen McCusick, The Contagion Myth by Tom Cowan, MD, on his website. And those books start to understand waveforms and resonance. And the most contagious thing in the world is what? A giant smile. I mean, that's what. True, right? So when we understand this connection in ways that we can't even describe, that's when we start getting somewhere.
Very cool. So everybody head over to emfrocks.com and make sure you stay tuned here. Head over to lifestylelocker.com. You're going to see the full episode, the video, plus we're going to be talking a little bit more in a couple minutes. See you all there. Justin, this has been a blast. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Josh.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Human Powered Life podcast. Make sure to head over to lifestylelocker.com to check out all the details on the show and to watch part 2 of this episode, which is only in video format. We also have this audio portion in video format if you want. Once again, I'm your host, Dr. Josh Hant, for the Human Powered Life podcast, and I'm looking forward to staying connected with you as a Human Powered Life hero. Remember to join the tribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.